This
Okay.
conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, no issues. Yeah. Uh, just a minute. Before starting the session, let me sit. Just give me a moment, guys. Let me set everything. So, okay. Let's get started, guys. Welcome to first session of our regular course. And yeah, before starting the session, right? As usual, I just wanted to confirm on my voice. Is my voice clear? Can someone please confirm?
Yes, yes, Ajay.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah. Yeah, and as I mentioned in the demo session also, like so whenever you face any audio issues or even kind of screen share issues or something, please try to rejoin. So it would be okay. Sometimes this go to meeting troubles, just try to rejoin. It will be all right. Okay. And whenever you have any questions during the class, you can just ping in the chat box. We will discuss at the end of the class. And also I will leave some time for questions and any concerns. Okay. Yeah. So as today is our first day, so let me quickly show you what we are going to learn in the entire course as part of our course content. And I hope my screen is also visible. I'm just showing my, I mean, course content part. And if you see here, as I mentioned earlier, also like we are dividing entire course into four phases basically. Phase one, where we are going to discuss about the introduction concepts. Okay. And then phase two, where we are going to learn the one programming language that is nothing but Java. Okay, here where we are going to discuss entire core Java related stuff which is basically required for our Selenium test automation. And phase three, where we are going to discuss actual Selenium WebDriver concepts, that is nothing but actual Selenium automation. And phase 4, that is our final phase, where we are going to discuss about some advanced concepts which are required for our end-to-end Selenium test automation, some other third-party tools integrations, and even reporting related stuff, and all those things we are going to discuss as part of last phase. In our phase 4, these advanced concepts we are going to discuss. Okay, let's go step by step. So as part of first uh, phase, so these are the topics which we are going to learn, guys. That is nothing but I'm going to give some introduction about automation and Selenium, which we already discussed. But anyway, I will quickly recap what we discussed in a demo also. And I will also discuss about history about Selenium. That is nothing but when it came, who developed it, and all those things. So like that we'll go. So in the first phase, majorly we will discuss some introduction parts along with the component called Selenium IDE. Okay, so I'm going to show you how Selenium IDE works and all those things as part of phase one. And in phase two, Java, that is nothing but core Java concept. Phase three, Selenium WebDriver, and phase four, Selenium Grid, and all other stuff also will be there. Okay, so let's discuss step by step. And this is my thing. Okay, just a moment. Yeah. So if you see here, these are the things which we are going to discuss about Selenium. I mean, brief history and all. Before directly going into history and all those things, I think some people might have not joined our demo session. So let me quickly recap some concepts like as part of this, right? If you see, what is an automation testing, why do we need automation testing, different types of automation approaches, this we will quickly see. This is the new part we are going to discuss, and some introduction about Selenium also. Okay, See, automation testing, as I mentioned, right? Uh, it's simple technique where we are going to uh, automate something like this. Yeah, it is a technique where we are going to make a mission or a particular. Just a moment, let me put it. Yeah, it's a technique of making a mission or a process or a functionality of an application to work on its own, guys. Okay, with a little manual intervention. So that is nothing but, suppose there is a simple functionality where we are going to place an order in in an online shopping site. Like, suppose if I take Amazon site or something, I'm going to purchase a mobile or something, where as part of functionality, what we generally we do, we'll search for particular mobile, we'll add that item to the shopping cart, and we'll provide address details and payment details, and we'll check out or place an order. Okay, so this is simple functionality. So as part of automation, we are going to build a script. Okay, script is nothing but a technique here. Okay, so we are going to make, or we are going to build a script which will take care of running the same flows what we have automated, like launching browser, launching application, and searching particular mobile and all those, right? So it will perform those instructions one by one. Okay, as part of automation, we write a script basically. So that is nothing but, so once we run that particular script which you developed, which will make sure placing an order automatically without any manual intervention. Generally, while running your automation script, you don't need to worry about anything. I mean, you don't need any manual intervention also. But before running, we just simply start it, and during the execution, we don't need to do anything. It will take care of running the entire script, and it will send us the result or report back. Okay, so that is nothing but an automation, guys. And here, if I see, there are basically in manual testing, right? Generally, what we do, we will have resources sitting in front of the mission, and then will they are going to they are going to validate all the functionalities of an application, right? Features or functionalities of an application. So manual testing or any testing is nothing but validation and verification, guys. In testing, what we are going to do basically, we will validate the functionality. That is nothing but, while validating, we do only one thing. That is nothing but, will compare the expected results against actual results. That's what we do as part of any testing, whether it is a manual testing or automation testing. What we do, we will validate the features by comparing the expected results versus actual results. That is nothing but, expected results are like, we are going to set, suppose there is a button in the application. I just clicked on that button. Okay, something is going to happen, like as soon as I click on a button, it is going to display some image or something, let's say. Okay, then my expected result is like, it should display an image. So what we do, we will while testing it, we will have all the expected results are set. What we do, we click on that particular button, and we'll simply validate whether that expected image is coming or not, as part of actual result. Okay, so that's where we compare expected versus actual, and we'll make sure everything works fine. That's what we do under in any testing, guys. Okay, same thing in manual testing, we are going to do manually, like we'll sit in front of the machine, and then we'll validate all those things. But in front of the, sorry, in case of automation testing, what we do, we will use a particular automation tool, any of the tools available in the market, and we are going to automate the test cases or the test scenarios which we have, and we will run them, we will execute them. And what it will do, it will simply compare the expected results against actual results. That's what this automation tool also will do. Okay, whatever we are going to perform as part of manual testing, same thing we are going to perform using a particular tool in case of automation testing. That's what we do in case of automation testing. Then generally, as we have manual testing already in place, why do I require automation testing, right? So still there is manual testing and people are performing testing, and also they are taking care of entire quality of application. Still, why do I need to go for automation testing? Because there are multiple factors which made automation testing is one of the major important aspect in our entire software development life cycle, guys. So because of these factors, one is like it is going to save a lot of time and also cost as well. Okay, these things we already discussed in the demo class, guys, but I'm just repeating because of I know some people joined today only. That's where I'm just repeating quickly. Okay, so it saves a lot of time, because if you have automation testing in your application, so generally automation test cases will execute very fast. And also in automation testing we have a feature called we can run our test cases in parallelly. That is nothing but, suppose I have a huge number of test cases. At a time I can run 5 test cases in parallel. That is nothing but 5 browsers will open, and in 5 browsers 5 test cases will get executed. Okay, so this is what it do. Okay, so and cost in the sense, so if you already automated everything as part of your application, then you don't need more resources to validate your application. Basically you can have 1 or 2 resources to maintain your automation scripts, and you don't need huge team to test your application. Okay, that's where the cost also can be reduced there. And next one is, as I mentioned, it would be faster than manual testing, as obviously, like because of parallel execution, and you can run your test cases in remote missions. Because of all these things, automation keeps always faster than the manual testing. Okay, and results whatever we are going to get will be reliable, because we are going to get a report where you can see all the test cases results. And also in automation we have an option to take a screenshot as well. Whenever any test case fails, it takes a screenshot. By seeing that screenshot also, you can analyze that failure, whether it is due to script issue or due to actual defect or something like that. Okay, that's where the results will be very reliable, and human intervention not at all required while executing the class, sorry, while executing the test cases. Okay, while executing the test cases. So uh, during the execution you can leave the mission uh, as it is, and then you can work on the some other work, right? So that's where human intervention not at all required during the execution. Generally we run our test cases in remote missions days. That is nothing but, suppose I have a local mission where I start my execution, but actual execution will happen in the remote missions. Remote missions are nothing but the virtual missions which will be located some other location, like servers or something. There our actual execution, like opening the browser and performing the actions, all will be done there. Okay, in your local mission you just see, you just start it, that's it, you can leave it. Once the entire execution done, you will get the report. Okay, that's where during the execution we don't require any human intervention, and you can effectively test all your features of the application. And reusable test scripts, you can reuse the scripts which you have written multiple times. Suppose I have written a simple script for login to the application. Okay, but I have some 100 test cases. All 100 test cases, my first step would be like login to application. Then I don't need to write that login script 100 times. I can write once, and the same script can be reused in all test cases 100 times. So that's where reusability is there here in our automation, and you can run n number of times, as many as you can, right? Suppose in a day I want to run my automation scripts 2 to 3 times, or as per my requirement I can run n number of times, so that we can release our applications to the market early, as part of current trends like DevOps and Agile technologies. So everyone, like all the stakeholders, they want to release their product or projects to the market early. So if you have a dedicated automation in your application, it will help to release our it will help to speed up our development, software development process, so that it we can release our application to the market early. Okay, so because of these factors, automation testing has become one of the major part in our entire software development life cycle. Okay. Yep. So then we are going to discuss new thing today. So this anyway we discuss as part of earlier. So let's discuss what there are two different types of automation approaches, guys. Okay. And this also let me tell you how to learn any automation tool. Okay. So generally, whenever you are going to start learning any automation tool, okay, just a minute, let me open that slide. I have somewhere, just a moment. Yeah. See how to learn any automation tool. Uh, Not only Selenium, guys. If you are going to start learning any automation tool, so if you follow these 7 basic steps, we will be in the we will be like a master in that particular tool, guys. So it's very simple. First, we need to identify what are the prerequisites for learning any particular tool. Suppose in case of Selenium, okay, we need to first identify. So Selenium alone doesn't help us. Selenium with some programming language is required, like Selenium with Java or Python or something. Then what we need to do, right? In the first step, we need to learn the basics of the particular programming language which we are going to choose. Like suppose Selenium with Java. In the first step, I am going to learn the basic concepts of core Java. Okay, and then I will be like writing some programs and methods, classes, creating classes, methods, calling them, and all those things I will be learning in the first step. And then the second step, I am going to learn the basic features of the tool, whatever tool I am going to pick up. Like Selenium tool, I am going to learn the basic concepts like how to launch a browser, how to launch a application, and other basic actions like how to click on a button, how to automate radio buttons, text boxes, and all this basic stuff I will learn in the second step. In the second step, I also try to automate a simple scenario. Okay, I will take simple scenario and I will try to automate it. So generally 99% of the times the first script which you write will be failed. Okay, so most of the times because maybe the configurations which you have done not correct, or the script which you have written is not correct, like that. So first scripts most of the times it will fail. So generally people what they do, right, they will try for fixing that issue and then try to make it work, but they somehow they will try, but even if that won't work, but they will simply stop their work there, and then they stop their learning thing, right? So the third step very important is like we should not stop whenever your first script fail. So try for the help, I mean get the help, and search for the issue in the Google and then try to get the solution, and also try to fix it. Okay, the first script which you have written, try to make that work. So once you make your first script work, then you will gain some confidence and then you can proceed. Okay, so that's where generally people will lost their thing in the learning is don't stop whenever your first script fail. Please go ahead and get the help or talk to your friends or something who knows that, and then try to make that first script work. Then in the fourth step, you can generally search for that help and then get that work, right. In the fifth step, you can start exploring the tool. That is nothing but you can go into the deep and then learn all the other features of your tool and also the programming language and everything. And the sixth step is very important, where the practice is very important, guys. Just learning the concepts won't help. You need to gain some hands-on experience that will make our learning will perfect. Otherwise, just learning the concepts, you can sometimes you can through the interviews, but after interviews you cannot, it won't help. So concepts wise you need to learn anyway, but hands-on experience is actually required. Okay, for that you need to do a practice, and you need to do practice a lot. Like, you'll take different applications and try to automate and see whether all those are working fine or not. All these things during practice you will improve your work. Improve in the sense, so in the first step, generally whatever script we will write it, that will be in a very basic manner. Okay, then once you explore and once you gain the hands-on experience, then the script which you write it, that will be in a very uh, matched way. Suppose nothing but very advanced way. Okay, so you will use all the advanced concepts of your tool and you will write. So that's where during practice you will learn lot of things and you will improve your work also. Okay, so generally these are the basic 7 steps. If you follow while learning any automation tool, not only Selenium guys, any automation tool, then it will be perfect. Okay, yeah. So then let's go to the next thing, different types of automation approaches guys. Okay, so generally in the market now we have different automation tools available in the market. Like Selenium is one of the tools, and if you see, there are tools like Apply tools, or there is a tool like HP UFT or Cypress or Playwright or Jasmine Protractor. There are n number of tools available in the market. So all these tools we can divide into two categories, guys. One is like, so one is uh, object based automation tools. Other one is like image based automation tool, guys. Okay, so let me write it down here. Object based automation tools. Second one is image based automation tools. Let me explain what is object based and image based. Okay, yeah. So when it comes to object based automation tool, here, as part of these automation tools, we are going to identify the elements. Okay, elements are nothing but buttons, checkboxes, radio buttons, what we see in our application. Okay, so those elements we are going to identify by using objects of that particular elements, the properties of that particular elements. Okay, so that is nothing but, suppose if you see, let's take one simple application. I'm going to do wikipedia.org. Okay, this is a basic application where, if you see, this is the home page of this application where I have some uh, logo and some hyperlinks and a text box and one drop down or one button or icon. Like that, there are multiple elements are there. So whenever I want to automate by using object based automation tool, right, what we are going to do, right, we will identify these elements with its object properties. That is nothing but, see, how can I identify that object properties? It's very simple, guys. In any browser, not only Chrome or Firefox, or even in Microsoft Edge or Internet Explorer, if you just right click on your particular element, we will see one option called inspect. Okay, so it is common in all the browsers. Okay, so inspect or inspect element, this you can simply see, there is one section called elements. In this generally we call it as developer tools window, guys. In this we have one section called elements. In this, for each element there will be one corresponding HTML tag will be there. Okay, this is, we also call it as DOM structure, guys, document object model, or else simply HTML core of this particular page. Okay, suppose if you see, this input tag is basically for this search box. Okay, and this input tag has different attributes like ID, name, type, size, and all. Okay, so these are nothing but properties, we also call it as objects. Okay, so if at all I want to locate this particular text box, I am going to identify this particular element by using a ID or name or something, whichever is unique. I will take that and then I will identify. So as part of object based automation tools, we are going to identify, okay, identify the elements of an application using its object properties. Okay, nothing but the element properties, object or element properties. So and then based on that we will identify this and will perform the next further actions like clicking on buttons or performing any other actions case. But the core part, like identifying the elements by using its element properties or object properties. But when it comes to the other category of tools which are available in the market like image based tool, here basically we are going to identify the elements, okay, based on images. Okay, that is nothing but suppose as part of image based automation tools, if at all I want to automate this text box, then I would be taking a simple image. Suppose like this, I will be capturing the image of this particular text box like this. Okay, suppose this is an image, and using this image, I'm going to I will save this image with some name, and then using this image I'm going to perform an action like entering some text into text box or something like that, guys. In case of image based automation tools, we are going to identify the elements based on images. Okay, and performing actions and all, it's same as object based or image based. So here the examples are like uh, I mean, here the tools which we have is Selenium is one of the object based automation tool, and HP UFT, okay, IBM RFT, and Cypress. All these are also Playwright. All these are also there are a number of tools available, guys. All these are object based automation tools. And under image based automation tools, there are some particular tools we have in the market like Apply tools. There is one tool, okay, Apply tools, and Eggplant. There is one tool called Eggplant. This is basically from Test Plant company, okay, from Test Plant company. And there are other tools like Sickly Script, okay, like that. There are some tools available in the market which are basically for image based automation tools. So there is a difference between these two, right? Like here where we are going to identify the elements by objects, here we are going to identify by the by the images. So basically for the image based automation tool, it doesn't matter the application, whatever application which you are going to automate, it doesn't matter for the image based automation tool whether it is developed using Java or .NET or any technology. Okay, so these image based automation tools are like technology agnostic, whether your application which you are going to automate, whether it is Java based application or .NET based or any Angular based application, whatever it is just going to identify the elements by using simply uh, this one. Simply, it is going to identify by using images. Whether it is the the script behind the programming language behind this application, whatever it doesn't matter to the image based automation tool. But when it comes to object based automation tools, basically we will consider whether it is Windows based application or web based application like that. Okay, so most of the uh, object based automation tools will work on, suppose Selenium is like a web based automation tool, like you can automate only web applications. HPUFT has both Windows based plus web based, like IBM RFT has only web based, something like that, guys. So these object based automation tool has some limitations, but when it comes to image based automation tools, there is no limitation. We can automate any application which you open in your your mission, you can automate that. But object based automation tools, there is some technology limitation, so it's only kind of few applications it can be automated. Okay, that is one of the major difference. And image based automation tool also has some disadvantages also. Whenever you are running your scripts which are developed using image based automation tools, right, always your application should be open and it should be visible in front of the mission. I mean, in the first thing, right? Because while running scripts, it has to identify the elements by images. But in case of object automation tools, whenever you are running automation scripts, even if you minimize your browser, your automation scripts will work. But it is different case with image based automation tool. Whenever you are running your image based automation tools, actually your browser has to be opened and it should be active, then only it will work. But in case of object based, it will it will something like, even if you minimize your browser, your automation scripts will run, because it is going to identify the objects based on the sorry guys, based on the images, right? That's where that is major difference. Anyway, our Selenium will come under object based automation tool. Okay, under image based automation, there's very less tools available in the market because there are some disadvantages which we see. Okay, yeah. Now let's proceed to the next thing. That is all about different automation approaches and our automation tool, which we are going to learn. Selenium is basically is part of uh, object based automation tool, guys. Now let me quickly discuss about Selenium components and why do I need to go for Selenium tool. Quickly, guys, let me quickly do that also. Then I will go to the our main thing, this basic history about Selenium. Yeah, this one I want to discuss. See, what is Selenium? It's not like what is Selenium. Let's I try to understand Selenium in detail. So Selenium is basically one of the automation tools available in the market. That's sure, right? Because Selenium is a automation tool which is available in the market for automating the test cases or the applications. Then if you when it comes to Selenium, Selenium is not a single tool, guys. Okay, it has four different components basically. Okay, it is not a single tool, it is a suite of software which is basically designed to automate web application interactions. Okay, this is mainly designed for automating the web application interactions. That means I'm just pressing this point because Selenium can only talk to web applications. Web applications are nothing but the applications which we can open through browser using internet. Okay, so Selenium can automate web applications, and so guys, can you hear me now? Can someone please confirm?
Yes, Ajay.
I just connected back. Yeah, and I hope my screen my screen is also visible. Yeah, just a moment. So this is what we are discussing. Yeah, Selenium is not a single tool. It will have four different components, and the main purpose of Selenium is to automate web application interactions so that the scripts which we generally write, right, those will automatically perform the actions how the real user performs. Okay, how the real user interacting with the elements like clicking buttons, entering some text into text boxes. In the same manner, Selenium can also perform the actions. Okay, the main aim to Selenium is to mimic the behavior of real user by interacting with the elements of the web application. How the real user interacting with the application elements, same way Selenium can also interact with the application. Okay, as I mentioned, it has four different components. Those are like Selenium RC and Selenium IDE, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. Okay, so Selenium RC is the first component which was developed and released to the market. But nowadays, I mean, we don't have the Selenium RC. It has been deprecated, and the features of Selenium RC were merged to Selenium WebDriver. Okay, I will give that brief history about Selenium. Then Selenium IDE is one of the record and playback tool where you can simply record your actions and then play them back. And there is another thing called Selenium WebDriver. That is, this is the main component of all other components. Using the Selenium WebDriver, we are going to automate main applications. Okay, and Selenium Grid is basically for distribution automation, or whenever you want to run your automation scripts in remote missions, we will go for Selenium Grid. Okay, yeah. So these are four different components. And why do I need Selenium, guys? There are multiple tools available in the market. Why should I go for Selenium only? Okay, so I mentioned Selenium is open source tool where you don't need to purchase any license. You can simply go and download the library and use it as part of your automation directly. Okay, even while downloading it, it won't ask you to log in also. It won't ask you to create an account also. You can straight away go and download the libraries from the Selenium official site and use it. Okay, that's where tool cost will always be zero here in case of Selenium. And it supports multiple browsers. Whatever browsers available in the market, major browsers, we can run our scripts in all the major browsers available in the market. And it supports multiple programming language implementations, like Selenium can be used with Java, Python, or PHP, or Ruby, or JS, JavaScript, or Node.js, like that, guys. Okay, and multiple operating systems also, like you can run your automation scripts Windows or Linux or Unix, or even in Apple iOS machines also. And it supports multiple frameworks. The major frameworks available in the market, like either uh, unit testing frameworks or other frameworks which are available, Selenium majorly supports most of the frameworks available in the market. And moreover, it is very simple, and it has a larger user base and helping communities, guys. Though it is a open source tool, whenever you stuck somewhere, you can get lot of response in the Google, guys. Like you search something, there are lot of blogs in entire the world are talking about Selenium. Whenever you stuck somewhere, you will get lot of response. Okay, and finally, it is very simple to learn and easy to adopt. Okay, because of all these factors, Selenium has become one of the most popular automation tools in the in a uh, in the market now, and also it has a larger uh, presence in the company's case. Okay, yeah. So this is all about the basic introduction about Selenium and automation approaches and all, guys. Now let's quickly discuss one thing I wanted to discuss freshly today is history about Selenium, guys. Okay, let's try to discuss this. That is nothing but when it came, who developed it, and what are all the different years involved in the entire Selenium history. Okay, so let's start. So basically, first thing, the first version of Selenium, or Selenium 1.0 or 1.0, was released in the year of 2004. Okay, 2004, in the year of 2004, it was released like a first version Selenium 1.0, or we also simply call it as Selenium RC. Okay, that is the first component of our Selenium. Selenium RC is nothing but remote control, guys. Okay, in full form. That RC, or Selenium 1.0, was developed by a person called Jason Huggins, guys. Okay, there was a person in the company called ThoughtWorks. Okay, there was a company called ThoughtWorks. In that company, this guy Jason Huggins was developed and released to the market in the year of 2004 as a Selenium 1.0 or else Selenium RC initially. Okay, then later after 2 years in 2006, there is a person called Simon Stewart from Google company, Google Inc. Okay, so from Google company, he started working on a project called WebDriver. Okay, so in the year of 2006, nothing has been released actually, but the step to develop a new component called WebDriver has started in the year of 2006. Okay, so this person Simon Stewart, he is the main person now. Okay, so he is the person who was working in Google, and he started working on the project called WebDriver. Then in the same year, there is another person called Shinya Kastani who created one add-on or plugin called Selenium IDE for Firefox browser, and he released and donated to the Selenium open source community. Okay, that is nothing but, so he independently worked, guys. This guy Shinya Kastani, he independently worked and he developed one simple plugin to the browser. Okay, and he named it as Selenium IDE. Here IDE is nothing but integrated development environment. Okay, so this Selenium IDE is a simple plugin or add-on to the browser. So initially he developed for only Firefox. Okay, and that IDE, that add-on, he donated to the Selenium community, Selenium open source. That is nothing to where these guys, Jason Huggins and Simon Stewart, working, right? So to them, this guy Senior Kastan, he gave that particular tool which he developed. Okay, in the year of 2006, and later after 3 years, in 2009, this is the major year for our entire Selenium guys. 2009 was the year where Selenium RC and Selenium WebDriver were merged actually. That is nothing but the tool which was developed by Jason Huggins, that is nothing but Selenium RC, was merged with WebDriver. WebDriver, where this Simon Stewart was started working, right? These both the tools were merged and then they named it as Selenium 2.0 or simply Selenium WebDriver. Okay, so that means Selenium WebDriver is a component which was developed and released to the market in the year of 2009. Okay, from 2009 onwards, Selenium RC has been deprecated actually. Selenium RC or Selenium 1.0, right? That has been deprecated. That means they merged already the major features of Selenium RC into WebDriver, and they stopped giving support to the Selenium RC, that Selenium 1.0. So from 2009 onwards, we used to have only Selenium WebDriver. Okay, and there are other major years, like, so 2.0 was released in 2009, right? So after 2009, 2010, 2011, 12, 13, all these years they were releasing some other sub versions like 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, like that. So they were improving their tool work, and then they were adding some features, fixing the defects, all those things they were doing in the in between 2009 and 2016. And in 2016 they released another major version called Selenium 3.0. Okay, they have given other features, more features, and they released one stable version called 3.0 in the year of 2016. After 2016, after 5 years, in 2021, recently, I mean in 2 years back, we got Selenium 4.0 released into the market. Okay, Selenium 4.0, again it's advanced tool. It has some other features has been added, and also somehow it they made some stable. I mean, they made the tool stable with some bug fixes and all. Okay, now the currently Selenium fourth series is running, guys. Okay, the current stable version which you can see is like, before that I will show that. Before that, so these are the major years, girls: 2004, 2006, 2009, 16, and 21. Okay, so if you see here, Selenium RC logo will be would be like this, and this is Selenium WebDriver, and this is Selenium IDE. This is also Selenium WebDriver. After they merged, they changed these logos, and now the current logo of Selenium will be like this with green color and all. Okay. Then let me show you what is the current stable version of Selenium. You can simply go to a website called selenium.dev. Okay, this is the official site of Selenium, guys. Whenever you want to learn anything or whenever you want to download anything related to Selenium, it is always recommended to go to this website. Okay, so this is the application. See, Selenium automate browsers, that's it. What you do with that power is entirely up to you. That is nothing but, so it is just automate browsers. Whatever we want to do, it is up to us. We can do lot of other things also. Okay, see, Selenium WebDriver, Selenium IDE, and Selenium Grid. Why Selenium RC is not there? Because Selenium RC has been deprecated. Now we have only three components like WebDriver, IDE, and Grid. Okay, and so these are some Selenium level sponsors, because as it is a open source tool, guys, so there are some sponsors, they will funding this tool actually. Okay, so these different companies like Browser Stack, SaaS Labs, Digital AI, Apply Tools, all these are the different companies who are funding to this Selenium tool. Okay, so you can check the latest version of the Selenium by go to downloads. Here, see about downloads, and here, so for each language we have a language bindings, guys. Suppose I am going to Selenium with Java, then for Java there is one language binding like this. See, 4.12.1, which is the latest stable version of the Selenium currently, which was released just 2 days back. See, September 4, 2023. So today is 6th, just 2 days back, the latest stable version was released to the market. Okay, see, for Ruby, it was still 4.12.0, which was released in August 31st. Okay, for C Sharp, again same latest version, and Python somewhat older, and for JavaScript also somewhat older. See, if you see Java and C Sharp having the latest stable versions, like in this month only they got the latest version. So like that, you can simply go here and then click on this thing. It will download one simple jar file, so which we will be using directly as part of our automation. Okay, this is how you can download Selenium, guys. So this is the latest version. As I mentioned it, now fourth series is going on, like Selenium 4.0. Part of that Selenium 4.12.1 or 4.12.1 is going is the current stable version. Okay, so then let's quickly discuss why this name came Selenium. Okay, how they suggested a name called Selenium to this tool, right? So generally Selenium is a chemical substance, guys, right? If you are from science background, so generally if you see Selenium is a chemical name actually. Selenium, uh, uh, if you see in our chemical, there are total 108, or I'm not sure, there are total elements, right? Different substances, total 201 or something, many substances are there, out of which Selenium is one of the substances available in the chemical side, and it has a number like element number like 34 actually. Okay, so but how they gave this Selenium name to the tool, like automation tool, right? There was a simple brief history about it actually. Before Selenium was came into the market, there was a company called Mercury. They developed one tool called QTP. Okay, quick test professional. So before Selenium, it was the tool there in the market for automation, guys. QTP. Okay, so this tool was developed by the company called Mercury. Earlier there was a company called Mercury, but later anyway QTP, that Mercury was I mean, there was a company called HP which took over this company, and then now this QTP or UFT is maintained by HP company. But In olden, I mean, before HP, there was a company called Mercury, which was developed a tool called QTP, and which was the main tool in the market that time. Okay, so then these guys, this Jason Huggins and his team, they sit in some cafeteria and they were discussing. They started developing, right? They developed and they wanted to release that tool to the market. Okay, they wanted to release to the market, and they were discussing. They were just having a coffee and they were discussing like, what name should we suggest for this thing. People are their team members are suggesting some different names, but this guy Jason Huggins, who was the main person, right? So he suggested one name. He just mentioned. It's not suggested. He just played a kind of a joke saying that let's have a selenium, because selenium generally cures mercury in our body. Okay, so that's a chemical or medical terminology. Generally, selenium substance can cure the mercury in our body or something. Generally, okay. To give the counterpart to the Mercury company, he gave this name. Like, so, Mercury was the company, was there in the market for this QTP, right? So he just wanted to give a counterpart to that company. They gave this name. So he played kind of a joke. Let's have kind of, let's have like a Selenium as a name. Then that became actual name like Selenium. Okay, so he just played a joke, but they decided like let's have Selenium only. Then they proceeded with Selenium name. Okay, that's where Selenium name came, because they want to give a counterpart to the Mercury. Mercury is also a chemical substance, right? So then they gave a name called Selenium. That's how the Selenium name came, guys. Then they decided Selenium WebDriver, Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium Grid later. Okay, so that's how the Selenium name came, guys. Okay, yeah. So let me do one thing, guys. We are already on top of the hour, almost just 2 more minutes. Uh, yeah, let's do one thing. Let's stop it here for today, and let's discuss other things in the tomorrow's class. Okay. So today we covered these things, guys. Brief history, and also in the tomorrow's class, I am going to majorly discussing about some features and advantages, and main thing is limitations of Selenium. We are going to discuss in the tomorrow's class, guys. So though it has a lot of advantages, it also has limitations, guys. Okay, let's see what are the limitations Selenium has, and also I will start with Selenium IDE also tomorrow. Okay, I will also discuss about different components and its architectures of Selenium components, and then if time permits, we'll also start Selenium IDE thing. Okay, let's see. Yes, so that's all from my side for today, guys. If you guys have any questions or concerns, we can discuss now. Okay, so I am just leaving to you. You either you can post your questions on chat box, or else you can directly talk to me.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I am more interested towards understanding how we can leverage Selenium WebDriver for database validation, or like file-to-file comparison or file-to-database comparison.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So file to file comparison is a separate thing anyway. So database validations, right? Basically, that can be done by using, like, suppose Selenium. We are going to use Selenium with Java, right? So Java has one component or one API called JDBC, Java Database Connectivity thing. Okay, using JDBC, with help of Selenium, we are going to connect to the particular database, and we are going to fire a particular query and then get the data, and we can validate the data as part of our automation. So that can be done. Database validations, like suppose simple validations we can do, and generally automation, we are not going to insert a data, or we are not going to update the data, that we generally want to do in a real time automation. Even the developers, they want to give us write permissions to the any database. They will give only the read permissions, because if they give right permissions, it may we can, there is a chance of we can insert some junk data or something. That's where they will give only read permissions. Using read permissions, we can simply run select queries and then get the data and then validate it. That's what we can do. File to file comparison, that is another thing. Actually, that is not part of a database thing. That is another thing. For that, in Selenium, there is no straightforward solution. You need to develop some utility to compare your files. In Selenium, we have something called, we can load a particular file using Java IO concepts, input output concepts, and you can read the data from the particular file. Like, file can be anything here. It can be a simple text file or Excel file or CSV file or anything. Using some third party libraries, you can interact with these files and read the data. And at the same time, if at all you want to compare with other files data, that also you can read and then put it in some different list or something, and then you can compare it. But as I mentioned, there is no straightforward solution like using some utility I can directly compare two files or something like that. We have to find a workaround. Okay, so that's what, if you see in Selenium official site also, that's what they will always mention. Selenium is a uh, tool. It's just automate browsers, that's it. But whatever we wanted to, that is up to us. There are a lot of other third party or the integrations which we can integrate with Selenium, and we can get lot of benefits. Like, suppose I want to read the data from the Excel sheet. Okay, so Selenium alone cannot automate that. We need a library called Apache POI. Using that, I can interact with the Excel file. I can read the data from the Excel file, as well as I can write some data back to the Excel file also. So that's how, whenever you are going for any particular solution or different things, so we need to find a workaround and then do it. That's where I will, as part of our advanced course also, that's what I'm going to teach you all those things. Like here, here where I'm going to show you how to read and write the data from the Excel sheet using a Apache POI. And as part of our Java concepts, I am going to teach you how to connect to the database and how to read the data from particular table and how to validate all those things I will show you here. And some other third party tools like TestNG, Maven, Git, all these things also we are going to discuss as part of our course. Got it?
O- Okay, can you please share these concepts sheets, sir?
Yeah, see, this I think this career IT team has been shared. Anyway, I will inform them. They will share it again. Okay.
Okay, okay. And another question, like
Yeah.
I'm not in a rush, but so as part of our data validation using Selenium while connecting to databases, can you please show one example, like comparing heterogeneous databases, like let's say source is SQL Server and target is Snowflake or something like that.
I didn't get you the last point. Can you be louder because your voice is a bit
Okay,
slow?
let me
Yeah.
remove my AirPods 1 second.
Yeah.
Can you hear me any better now?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so just wanted to check, like, I mean, as part of the data validation,
Yeah.
I'm not in a rush though, just
Yeah.
throwing
No
an
issues.
example when this topic comes, whenever, like day 20 or day 25. So
Yeah.
just wanted to see if you can compare, like data from SQL Server to Snowflake, for example. Like, because Snowflake is
Hmm.
kind of a browser-based database, right?
Okay. Okay.
Cloud database, and SQL Server you can just connect to the server and just do the stuff. So
Correct. Correct.
can we establish this kind of validation, like plain and simple, X table in SQL Server and Y table in Snowflake? Just compare like 10 columns there, 10 columns there, and compare one to one column. This simple, like, I mean,
Hmm.
no complex queries, anything like that. But just wanted to see
Yep.
that if
Yep.
that is
Yep.
possible.
Yeah. We can try that. So only thing is, the Snowflakes, whatever that browser based database, right?
Hmm.
So we need to see what are the possibilities we have with Selenium. Like, so in Java, right, JDBC, basically for each database like SQL Server or MongoDB or Postgres, whatever databases, popular databases we have like Oracle or something, We have straightforward libraries, we can use them, and then we can straight away connect to the database and interact with them. But these the other browser based cloud based databases, right? So we need to find out. But anyway, we'll try it out, we'll give a try. There should be a way. That's what, uh, wherever we have any new integrations or new things we are trying, right? So with Selenium alone we cannot proceed, but there are other alternate ways. Suppose you can simply search on Google, like Selenium automation with, what is that, influx, sorry, that
Snowflake.
snowflake, yeah. I'm also hearing first time.
Okay.
Snowflake database, Selenium IDE with snowflake. Anyway, IDE is not required generally. Selenium, let me put WebDriver. So there is a way generally, you can, yeah, using JDBC we can connect actually. So this way, right? Connecting to Snowflakes with JDBC. So then JDBC has a way to connect, then we can easily integrate. Yeah,
Okay.
this we can try anyway. That time, yeah, we'll take one example and then we'll try to connect. But only thing is, I need the snowflakes has to be installed or some instance should be there to check that. So this is how they are giving actual. I think we can connect. There is a no way. Like how we are connecting to the SQL server or Postgre database, right? Same way we can connect.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
only
that
thing is, as you mentioned, right? Comparing. That is second step. So I am going to write a script to first connect into the SQL server and I will fetch the data and I keep it in some file or some list or somewhere. Okay, and then at the same time I will also connect to the this Snowflake database and then get the data and put it in some list or some file. Then we'll build a logic to compare these two and then validate. That's what we generally do.
right.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, right. And one last question, sir.
Yep. Sure.
What is the Java expertise needed for learning the Selenium? And because learning-wise, like basic scripts and all, we can write, but when it comes to um,
Correct.
sitting in a
Yeah, I
project and
think.
working, right? So,
Yeah, correct, correct. I think you were not there in the demo class. I mean, I was explaining that. Anyway, let me quickly show you. Generally, for our Selenium test automation, so Java wise, how much Java is required actually, right? So if you see, these are the topics which are enough for our Selenium test automation. That is nothing but Java is a very vast language. That is nothing but lot of concepts are there. Like we just need only core concepts of Java for our Selenium test automation. We don't need to worry about like JSP, Spring Boot, servlets or other stuff, right? Those are not at all required for our Selenium test automation. We just need how to create a class, how to create a method, how to call the methods using objects, and the basic steps. Okay, how to write a simple if conditions. So these are the topics which are enough for our Selenium test automation. We don't need to go beyond these concepts. Okay, so JDBC concepts also required. Once we are good at these concepts, enough. We don't need to even JSPs and all those are for development purpose actually, because we are not into development mode actually, we are into testing, right? So we are not going to develop anything using core Java here. We are using core Java as part of our Selenium to automate some features of application where we need some language. Suppose I want to run something, I want to validate something, for that I need some language, programming language. That's where we are using Java as part of Selenium. But just remember, we are not going to develop any application here. We are not
got it,
from development side actually, right?
got it,
So
got
we
it.
are using Java as a supporting language for our Selenium to automate applications. That's it. That's where
Yeah.
we don't need all this Spring Boot and all these are very advanced concepts of Java where which are required for developing web services or developing applications and all this. Those are not at all required for us.
Okay, so yeah, got it. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions, guys? Okay, fine then. It's okay even if you don't have questions today. Anyway, in next classes also, if you have anything, we can discuss that thing, guys. Okay. Yeah. I think if there are no questions for today, I think we are good to close. Yep. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time. Let's catch up tomorrow at the same time, 7 a.m. IST. Okay. We'll be continuing the next set of concepts. Yep. Thank you all. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.